I work as the CIMIC Veterinary Liaison Officer for the PRT, so that's Helmand PRT, and my job is basically to help facilitate the development of the Afghan veterinary system.
And how do you go about that? Where do you start?
Well, what we're doing is we're aiming things really at the very lowest level. So I run things called veterinary engagement clinics, which is where we go out into a community that has a non-existent veterinary provision, and we set up a little clinic and we show them how they should be caring for their animals, because obviously they've been here for years and years and years and years, and they just haven't had the benefit of what we know. So I'm just trying to improve the way they look after their animals, really.
What's the reaction you get from locals that find out what you do and what you're trying to teach them?
Well, first they have to get over the fact that I'm a female, which obviously, the cultures are very different, so having a female professional is quite a unique thing for them. And then they're very appreciative of the fact that, we're doing things for their animals, which obviously, because the country is 80% reliant on livestock as a way of income, so anything we can do to kind of help them, improve the health of their animals and so their productivity is a good thing for them.
This is one job that I'm sure our listeners would never ever thought would happen here in Afghanistan. That you're in full combat. So you work here day. How long have you been here?
I've been here just over 2 months now.
Believe me, this is unbelievable, because you're helping the infrastructure and developing Afghanistan for the future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of mini battles to be fought on a kind of very low level. I mean, these people have believed firmly for generations and generations things like if they cut the ears of their sheep, they're letting the bad blood out and then it will get better. And you're coming in with stuff that's completely new to them and trying to convince them otherwise, which sometimes is a bit of an uphill struggle. But sometimes something goes in and you can see them like cleaning wounds how you've showed them to clean it, and so it's every little bit helps, really. I'm part of the military working dog squadron that's out here at the moment. I'm just detached for this tour.
Oh. Now, we've heard a little bit about the dogs, and Trevor, you wouldn't be aware of this, has brought his Speedos along because he was quite keen, because of the sunshine, to find a swimming pool. Rumour has it that there is a swimming pool here at Bastion, but he might have to share it with some little furry people.
There are in fact 2 swimming pools at Bastion, and both of them are in our kennel complex. The pools are used mainly in the summer months to cool the dogs down, because obviously they're wearing fur coats all the time. They get very, very hot, and they're more like plunge pools for the dogs.
A plunge pool has just got better.
Would you be okay in your veterinary opinion? Would it be safe for Trevor to go in there with them? I mean, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about them.
I don't bite.
I'm sure we've got some very nice patrol protection dogs that would love for you to come in the pool with them.
I mean, obviously they've been inoculated against it's a whole bunch of things. So, I mean, in theory, Trevor hasn't showered for 3 days.
Yeah.
But if we make him have a dip beforehand, yeah.
I'm sure they'd be fine with that. Talking
about how Afghan civilians are entitled to compensation if any of their animals are hurt in conflict, and that causes a few problems sometimes.
Yeah, we had one incident a few weeks back now where I treated a lot of animals in the morning, wormed this man's sheep for him, and he came back a little while later in the afternoon, and I got a message from one of the Afghan National Police that who was obviously waiting at the gate for me with a dead sheep, because he'd reported that I'd killed it with this worming product. So I went over to see him, so obviously a little bit concerned at this point that maybe the sheep had had a really bad reaction to the worming and whatever. And I went over there and looked at the sheep and saw it had a nice big slit across its throat. So I asked the man, if I killed it with wormer, then how come its throat is slit? At which point he suddenly looked very, very sheepish and came up with the story that maybe he knew that it was going to die, so he'd put it out of its misery a little bit early. But yeah, I mean, it is true, and we do provide compensation for any locals for their animals are caught in the crossfire or a victim of road traffic accidents or anything like that. It's a really good scheme. Unfortunately, it does also sometimes lead to people trying their luck, as you were, but not in this case.
He was almost a Del Boy farmer. He was having a go.